Welcome to Tapped In. My name is Figueroa-Martinez of DFM Coaching, and today we're going to be discussing you're not failing, you're just too close. So oftentimes, me included at one point, and maybe even still now, we are way too critical of our own games and way too critical of the things that we're doing badly. And sometimes we put down even the things that we do good well. And we are not great assessors of our own successes or the things that we are just involved in. Many of us have, whether childhood trauma or just confidence issues, or we're in really difficult rooms at the gym where everyone's just a killer. Maybe we're new to jiu-jitsu and we're just getting mauled and we're not seeing the little things that we're doing well. It's really, really, really easy to downplay and almost talk badly about our games. It's one of the things that you will hear most often by most people in the gym. I'm like, oh, I suck, or I'm terrible, or I'm this, or I'm that. And none of that is helpful because you're not in a position to really assess very well. Couple of points are like, you're just way too close to the problem. You're involved and you're not able to see the forest for the trees, I think the saying is, and you're just so involved in it that you can't see the battle around you. I have an employee who is a lead at my job. And one of the things that I have told him is that he has to look up and out. He and I both have to look up and out. Other employees, they can look at their specific problem that they're encountering or the task that they have to do. And they can focus down and in. That's the thing that they have to focus on. That's the thing that they have to make sure gets done that day. When you're a lead or a supervisor or a manager, you have to really look up and out because you're looking at the horizon and what may come and what may not come and future problems. And you have to pay attention so much more of the field. When we're rolling and we're students, we're looking down and in, and we're so focused on what's occurring at the moment, what I didn't do, what I did do, how I didn't respond to this very well. And that down and in creates such a focus, specifically if you're getting wrecked most classes, that it's really easy not to see the progress and the things that you're doing really well, that you're just too close to the problem. You're not a good assessor of you. You're not a good assessor of the things that you're going to do or the problems that you're going to encounter. So it behooves you, and that's a drill sergeant term, that for you to really trust your instructor and your training partners and the people that you kind of look up to and that mentor you, because they're going to be able to see more up and out. Right now, you're focused on the problems. So you're going to feel a certain way. Your emotions are going to feel like evidence. You have a bad roll, a rough week. It triggers doubt. It makes you almost regress. It makes you feel like you're not moving forward, and you get down about yourself. We often misinterpret or misdiagnose struggle with failure. The struggles are going to be there. The end result of that struggle is I got armbarred. But 3 weeks ago, I got armbarred really quickly. Now I got armbarred, but I defended the initial armbar. I was able to get the grip. Maybe I knocked them backwards. I was able to get to my knees. They're on their back, but they're still in the armbar position. They had to resolve the issue by going into their B, C, and D grip breaks, for example. I still got armbarred, but it took them longer. I was defending better. Those are the things that you don't see because you're harped on, I got armbarred and I feel like shit. So it's really easy to just sit in that and let that be the facts or the evidence when really it's not. when I watch students, I love watching when they start putting little defenses together, or they start putting little nuance to maybe a guard pass they're working. The guard pass is very A-B in the beginning. Everything's A-B. But they're passing A-B, and then they start encountering roadblocks, and they get swept. But then a couple of weeks later, maybe they asked me a couple of questions, and I gave them a little guidance. Then they're addressing the roadblock and getting a little deeper into the game. Maybe instead of getting swept right off the feet, now they're in knee cut. They've isolated the one leg, and they're dealing with that knee shield, and they're having problems with that. It's still a success. Maybe they still get swept, but it's a success. You're moving further into the game. Stop worrying about the end result necessarily, and then focus a little bit more on the things that, hey, I really am getting a little deeper. Maybe I'm not getting swept 5 times. I'm getting swept 4 times. But your brain just says, I got swept a bunch. The other trap that we kind of settle into is comparing ourselves to everyone else. It doesn't help. It doesn't. I've always had a gym rival, and that's healthy as long as you're both respectful. I've always had a gym rival, someone that I kind of like pointed to. That's the guy that I roll with most often. That's the guy that we go back and forth. We're similar in size, maybe similar in age. Maybe we train the same amount of time. That's a healthy comparison. Or our gym rival. When we look at every blue belt, and we're a blue belt, it doesn't help at all, because I don't know how often this other blue belt is coming to class. I don't know how often or what responsibilities these other blue belts have outside of class. I don't know if they're married, if they have kids, if they're juicing. That's a whole nother thing. I don't know if they may not be the same age as me. They may not have the same injuries as me. They may have better finances, so they're getting private lessons and that I can't afford. Maybe they have a specific type of brain that allows them to just capture data better than me. There's a whole host of reasons why someone might be succeeding over someone else. They might be more athletic than I am. I might just not have been a sports person, and I got into jiu-jitsu because of the puzzle. So there's a different approach. Their temperament might be different. So the comparison aspect in general doesn't help. But I do recommend having a healthy rival. And a healthy rival is someone that's comparable to you. They have the same roadblocks as you. They're never going to be identical, but they are 44. It's a black belt. It's someone that trains 3 to 4 times a week, maybe a little less, sometimes a little bit more. It's someone who has a full-time job, someone who similar in size. So those things help, because then you're not comparing over everything. You're just kind of, this is a reference point, not a comparison. I think is the best way I can put it. It's just a reference point. Now, I've had healthy rivals that, for whatever reason, we were neck and neck. And then whether their job freed up, I don't know what happened. They were able to train a lot more. And they just started wrecking me. And they got the black belt faster than I did. And I just had to understand that we're no longer training the same. He's training now more, maybe a little bit more on a pro level. And I'm still the hobbyist, quote unquote, not a term I like, but we're going to use it. And I have to understand that I can't compare myself to that specific person anymore, because they're that much better now because of the way they've been training, or the amount of time they've been training, the private lessons they maybe have been able to invest in. So he's no longer my healthy rival. I have to pick someone else. And sometimes you don't have one. And that's when you just kind of rely on your mentors and your instructors to kind of help you along and allow you to lean on them for advice and perspective that you're not going to have, because again, you're too close to the problem. Feedback matters. I like to ask questions from teammates who do specific things really well that I want to incorporate, and that might be someone lower in rank, that might be someone higher in rank, that may even be someone else a white belt. And I don't mean that derogatory, but sometimes there's a white belt that just he becomes a subject matter expert in a very specific thing. Pick that person's brain too. Pick everyone's brain that's going to make your game better, and get that feedback, because it's going to help you emotionally get out of the rut and out of that negative speak. They're going to be your guiding light, and they're going to be able to point out, especially if you're like recording your rounds and sending them in, they're going to be able to pinpoint exactly what you're not doing, and hopefully also pinpoint the things that they notice you're doing better. Because again, you're too close to the problem. You may not even realize you're doing certain things better. So that feedback is going to be massive for you. Reframing the idea that I'm not getting better. Sometimes your people will call it a plateau. I don't think plateaus actually exist. I think that if you're going to the gym regularly, let's say 2 to 3 on average, you're getting better. I think things slow down after white belt because you had an empty cup and you filled it up pretty quickly. And now you're a blue belt. And blue belt is not as much about learning technique. Well, you are, but it's more about refining and getting better at technique, which is harder to measure. So if we can erase that I'm not improving, or that I'm stuck in a plateau and I'm not going where I want, and just realize that growth is slower. It's a slower rate. And every time you're on the mat, if you can tell yourself, I'm getting better because I'm here. I'm getting better because I'm rolling. I'm getting better because I'm asking questions. Everything else kind of works itself out. Asking questions is going to be massive. Asking the right questions is going to be huge. Asking questions around the lines of, Dave keeps passing my guard in knee cut. And this happened afterwards. Opposed to, how do I beat Dave? Beating Dave is too big of a landscape to tackle in a question. If you can remember specific moments that were bad for you and what they did, the answers to the questions can get a lot better. So if we can just get away from feeling like we suck and reframing that to we're getting better, it's just going to take time. And a lot of the failures that I'm going to endure are going to be ingredients in that getting better. And we can reframe how we talk to each other or about each other. It's going to be massive, because then you won't be in this rut feeling bad for yourself. You'll just be a student who is encountering issues that need to be solved. Take the emotion out. Just understand the equation is I have to spend time grinding. I have to fail, learn from those failures, and then I'm going to have more success. That is literally the equation that we have to play with. And none of it involves emotions. None of it is talking down to ourselves. None of it is any of these other things. It is literally, I got these problems. I have to go through these failures to get the answers. And then the success will come in gradual increments as I move forward. If you have any questions about this, if you're in a position where you feel like you're stuck training wise, if you feel like you need some advice, I am always open to giving advice, answers, suggestions. So I'm available on dfm.2099, Instagram and Threads. You can openly ask a question or DM me. I love answering questions. About once a week, I'll throw out a post saying, what do you have issues with? What do you need help with? And I generally tend to get back a bunch of little questions, and I'll go through every one of them. I'm hoping that I can do that regularly, but sometimes life gets busy. Anyways, until next time, thank you so much.